Chapter 11. Reading the Flow. The weeks blurred together in relentless training. Each morning began with meditation and energy work. Kale teaching Zeno to activate the contacts faster, maintain them longer, and read patterns more accurately. Within 2 weeks, Zeno could enter the enhanced vision in under 3 seconds and hold it for several minutes while performing simple tasks. But simple tasks weren't the goal. The contacts show you information, Kale said during one combat session, but they don't think for you. You need to learn to read intention, to predict movement before it happens, to see the split-second windows where someone's energy reveals vulnerability. They practiced with increasing intensity. Kale would shift his energy in preparation patterns, and Zeno had to identify the incoming attack and respond before it fully developed. At first, his success rate was abysmal, but gradually, patterns emerged. The way energy concentrated differently for punching versus kicking. How defensive preparations looked distinct from offensive ones. The subtle tells when someone was feinting versus committing. By the 3rd week, Zeno could maintain contact activation throughout the entire training sessions without conscious effort. The energy sight had begun to integrate with his normal perception, creating a layered awareness that felt almost natural. "You're improving," Kale observed as Zeno successfully defended against a complex combination by reading the energy prep. "But you're still thinking about the contacts. They need to become as automatic as opening your eyes when you wake." The breakthrough came during the 4th week. They were sparring at full intensity, Kyle attacking in rapid sequences, while Zeno tried to maintain enhanced vision and respond appropriately. And suddenly, something clicked. The energy reading stopped being something Zeno did and became something he simply was. The patterns flowed naturally into his awareness. His body responded to Kai's intentions without conscious thought. For perhaps 30 seconds, Zeno fought perfectly. Every defense optimal, every counter precisely placed, every movement exactly what it needed to be. Then exhaustion broke his concentration, and Kale's next combination caught him cleanly, putting him on the ground. But Kale had seen it. "That," he said, his voice intense with satisfaction, "is what mastery looks like. That moment of perfect flow where technique becomes instinct. That's what we're working toward." "What happened?" Zeno asked, still catching his breath. "Flow state. When body, mind, and technique unify into a single integrated action, most fighters never experience it. Your father could enter that state at will by the end of his training." Kale extended a hand to help him up. "You've just proven it's possible for you. Now it's a matter of training until you can enter that state reliably." The afternoon sessions focused on reading people beyond just combat. "Energy reflects emotional states," Kale explained, having Zeno observe him while he deliberately induced different emotions. Fear, confidence, anger, determination. They all create distinctive flow patterns. If you can read emotional energy, you gain insight into your opponent's decision-making. They practiced with various scenarios. Kale would put himself in different emotional states, and Zeno had to identify them through energy patterns alone. This has implications beyond combat, Zeno realized during one session. You could read anyone's emotional state, not just opponents'. "Now you're understanding the true scope of what your father created," Kale said. "The pressure point technique is a combat application, but the underlying principle of reading energy applies to all human interaction. That's why this knowledge is so valuable and so dangerous." By the 5th week, Zeno was fighting at a level that would have seemed impossible 2 months ago. The contacts had become second nature. Reading energy patterns was instinctive, and he'd started to develop something Kale called natural sensitivity. The ability to sense energy even without the contacts active. It was faint and unreliable, but sometimes Zeno could feel Kael's presence, sense intention before movement, know where an attack was coming from without seeing it. That's the real goal, Kael said when Zeno mentioned it. Your father's contacts are training wheels. Eventually, you won't need them at all. The energy sight will have trained your natural perception to the point where the contacts just enhance what you can already sense. The 6th week brought new challenges. Kael introduced combination techniques, blending lethal and non-lethal applications in combat sequences. Your father believed most conflicts could be resolved without killing, Kael explained, walking Zeno through a complex sequence. The lethal techniques were meant as final options, not first responses. He documented them because knowledge shouldn't be lost, but he hoped you'd rarely need them. They practiced using non-lethal pressure points to create openings, then, in theory, finishing with lethal strikes only when absolutely necessary. Zeno didn't practice the actual lethal techniques yet, but he studied them in his father's journal, understanding the mechanics, even if he wasn't ready to apply them. The killing intent is a threshold, Kael warned during one theory session. Your father documented it extensively. It's the emotional and mental state required to access lethal applications. Without that intent, the mind won't reveal the lethal combinations. It's a safety mechanism he built into the system. So I can't accidentally use them? Correct. But once you cross that threshold, once you enter the killing intent state, the knowledge becomes accessible permanently. That's something we'll address when you're ready, not before. During the 7th week, something unexpected happened. Kael announced that another student would be joining them, someone Zeno had met before. Who? Zeno asked. Kael smiled slightly. You'll see tomorrow. For now, just know that training with a partner at your approximate skill level will accelerate your development considerably. That evening, Zeno practiced alone in the training yard, going through the movements Kael had taught him while consciously analyzing his own energy flow. He could see now how his father had developed this system. The thousands of hours of observation and experimentation required to identify patterns and create reliable techniques. The contacts made seeing energy possible, but understanding it required dedication and study. He was beginning to comprehend the difference between knowledge and mastery. Tomorrow would bring a new training partner. Someone who would push him in ways solo training with Kael couldn't. Zeno activated his contacts one more time, studying the evening sky. The energy in living things created subtle distortions, even in the air around them. Everything was connected. Everything flowed. Everything could be read by those who learned to see. His father had created something remarkable. Kael was teaching him to understand it, and every day brought him closer to being strong enough to find Iris. The journey continued.